I call this meeting of the South Redford Board of Education together at 6:30. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Daniel Winston.
Present.
Anthony Johnson.
Present.
Lori Hickson's absent. Nisha Early.
Present.
Cheryl Flesher. Present. Amanda Flesher present. Shirley Tolliver.
Present. Next item on the agenda is approval of agenda. Are there any corrections to the agenda? There are none. The agenda will be as written. Next item on the agenda is Superintendent Communications. Mr. Bond.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to recognize the Vandenberg Elementary School staff as well as their parent-teacher organization for making this year's Track or Treat Halloween festivities such a wonderful success. They had over 400 attendees, and a special congratulations are in order to teacher Morgan Gardner, who served as the communications coordinator for orchestrating this wonderful event. Also, hats off to Chef Tony as well as to our hospitality and tourism students who, together with the new executive board for the South Redford Foundation, organized a successful relaunching of the South Redford Foundation last week that was hosted in the Nest Cafe. And that would not have been possible without our students as well as Chef Tony and Chef Leo. Hats off to teachers Tim Shaner, Patty Denton, as well as Austin Marcio for all their efforts in coordinating along with our students the successful play that took place this past weekend over at Thurston High School. It was absolutely wonderful thanks to their efforts. Helmets off to Nick Davis, the varsity football coach over at Thurston High School. Thanks to our student athletes in conjunction with Mr. Davis, the Thurston High School varsity football team has qualified now for the second straight year for the playoffs. So even though we got knocked out, another outstanding season for the Thurston High School varsity football program and Coach Davis and our student athletes. Friendly reminder to the Board of Education that tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7:30, we are hosting the Redford Township Chamber of Commerce breakfast, where once again we'll get an opportunity to showcase our students and their fine culinary skills in the Nest Cafe. There are still some seats available for any board member who would like to, or Fisher staff, if Ms. Coos can make it happen, for anybody to join us over in the Nest Cafe for breakfast with the Redford Township Chamber of Commerce. Also would like to acknowledge the efforts of teacher Carrie Pastor, who is the National Junior Honor Society host over at Pierce Middle School. She, in conjunction with Chief Jennifer Mansfield from the Redford Township Police Department, she was able to provide student volunteers from Pierce that helped rake the lawns of 9 seniors in the community this past weekend. So pretty remarkable for Make a Senior Smile Day that was sponsored by the township. So many thanks to Ms. Pastor as well as to Chief Mansfield. And then also at this time, I would like to acknowledge, in the spirit of Veterans Day, 2 of our very own veterans, one of which happens to be trustee Mr. Johnson, and then our very own Mr. Christopher Jones for their service to our country on this Veterans Day. So we appreciate the service of you 2 gentlemen, so thank you very much. And that concludes my communications this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. I went to the annual leadership conference in Lansing, and the Michigan Association of School Boards is 75 years old, and I have something for the board, 75-year pin.
All right.
All righty.
Thank you. Very nice.
All right. report at our next board meeting. Next item on the agenda is comments from the audience. Oh, I'm sorry. Are there any other board communications?
To the chair,
Yes.
I just want to throw out kudos to Chef Tony and his crew at the cafe. A few of us from the board had the pleasure of having, brunch there. And then also Amanda and I attended the play Thursday night, and it was fabulous. So our kids are doing a great job, and I just want to recognize both the cafe kids and both drama kids.
Anyone else? Next item on the agenda is comments from the audience. Do we have any? There are none. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Kinsey.
Thank you, Madam
Have you
President.
hire for us?
Thank you. So we do have one new hire. Fortunately, it doesn't look like she was able to make it tonight. But her name is Alicia Grant, and she is our social worker over at Adams Elementary. She comes to us with 5 years of experience as a Title I social worker at Detroit Public Schools. She holds a Master of Social Work from Wayne State University. And then she also has her bachelor's degree in behavioral science from the University of Michigan. She's a licensed clinical social worker with certifications in school social work and as a trauma and resilience practitioner. In Alicia's free time, she enjoys coloring, drawing, designing clothing, and providing community service, including hosting 2 back-to-school giveaways in Jamaica with her family.
All right.
So, welcome, Alicia. Should I go on to tenures? too?
Yes.
Okay. And then we also have 3 teachers who reached that fabulous milestone of tenure. You know, as I always say, a lot of folks don't go into education. It takes a very special person to go into education, and then an even more special person to get in there and stay with it. So we have Miss Kimberly Samzo over at Jefferson. She's reached tenure this year. Also, Miss Peggy Lugay. She's probably known by most people as Vasili over at the high school, who teaches German. And then also over at Adams, we have Mr. Adam Perlacki. So they've all reached that milestone of achieving tenure. That concludes, Madam President.
Thank you. Do I have a board member willing to adopt the consent agenda?
To the chair,
Yes.
I'd like to move the adoption of the following resolution, please.
Do I have a support?
Support.
It's been moved by Mrs. Fletcher and support by, I guess it was Mr. Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? 6 ayes, 0 nays. Resolution adopted. Next item on the agenda, presentation of Fisher Elementary School.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm sorry that more of my staff couldn't make it, but it is Parent-Teacher Conference Week, and so a lot of them are still at the school with parents, so it's okay.
Alrighty.
It's okay, still got a few, and I'd like to introduce you to Ms. Lipto. She's going to explain the gift that all of you have received for tonight.
So the gift that you received, these are shells, and they are hand-painted for everybody with your name on it from Cindy Pucci. She was one of our kindergarten teachers years ago, and her daughter, Thea, is our art teacher. Thea wanted to be here tonight, but her grandmother has just passed away, so she's not here. But I'm going to read the poem that goes with it, and it says, if you were given a seashell as a gift, it is a reminder to never back down from life and proceed with grace. Keep going and push yourself, just as the seashells go back and forth with thousands and millions of waves and tides each day. So all of these were hand painted by Cindy.
That is so nice.
We try. So thank you for all that you do for us as well. I know in your packets you received a our PowerPoint. I call it a PowerPoint, some people call it slides. But in lieu of that, I know you all can read. We do focus on our, Jason's big three in Maslow's hierarchy, and we talk about social and emotional learning. But again, kind of liked it last year, so I'm giving you a little bit more of my kids talking about my data. So enjoy this.
Good evening, board members. Welcome to tonight's board meeting presented by Fisher Elementary. Oh, look, I see you again. Bob Warben. Mrs. Bory. This is way better everybody with hard names. Oh, look, how about we give you a quick peek at the school?
All right, thank you, Mercy. So here we have the construction site, and I'm glad to say that this has already taken over 1,000 years to do, because we've been here since 2023. Actually, no, 2022 might be. I wasn't here in 2022, but they was probably still working on this in 2022. But, all right, so earlier in the school year, there wasn't any grass over here, and this is before they started planting the grass. Now over here, is after they started planting the grass, it's glorious and luscious, and it's perfectly green, like a tree. All right, hello, so we have the brick here that is going to be being installed, and this is basically all the brick that's going to be put into like the school and the new classrooms. And so we can see this. All right, back to you in the studio.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here with Miss Coots. I'm John Knox, and this is Dylan Gray. And today we'll be discussing MSTEP Math Scores.
We're going to talk about NWA as well, so that's okay. That's okay. So can you guys tell me about the scores this past MSTEP test?
So, unfortunately, our math scores have decreased a lot.
By a lot.
By a lot.
By a lot. It's shocking though, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like we could have reached full potential, but we didn't. Like, we held back our full potential that we did.
Yeah. Dorian, what were you saying before? Because we were just chit-chatting before we came on for this presentation. How do you feel? Like, what do you think is one of our biggest struggles with not doing well on this test?
One of my biggest struggles is patience.
Mhm.
Since if the test is longer, we'll probably rush it to get like
Yeah.
first or scores.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So I think we'll need something like a stress ball or something to keep us occupied.
I like that. And then we were talking about what do we do? We did take the NWE test how many times? 4 times. And does that help us with our stamina to be able to like drag it out, have another test, And so we're working on those things. So can you? So I know how we can talk about the scores. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like since the scores have decreased, it makes me feel like it's a bit sad,
Mhm.
how we didn't reach all what we could.
Right.
In a sense, I know as a school we could have done better.
Absolutely. I agree. And we will, right?
Yes.
And so what do we have in place that we're doing that's going to help us improve for next year or for this coming MSTEP?
So, in place for what we're doing for this next step, we are doing math minutes.
So what's that, Dorian? Like, what are math minutes?
So math minutes are basically math facts.
Okay.
Like what times 10 equals
Okay.
20.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, whatever is time thing. Okay, so we do our, well, for you guys, it's the upper grades are doing math facts so that we can make sure that we're doing it. But we do need math fluency. And those things happen in what else?
What else we do is we do math learning system called Zern, where
Okay.
we are on our Chromebooks. They give us equations to do,
And while we're on the program, we solve those and they give us newer strategies.
Oh, okay, I like that. All right. And what else do we do?
And we discuss strategies
Mhm.
to help us solve math.
Okay. All right, and then do we have win time? Okay. And what else do we do? Group work? Okay. Do you feel like that's helpful, is when you go into a group and you start talking about equations and things like that? Yeah.
Since you can combine all of your thoughts together to get the right answer.
Mhm. Okay, that's awesome. And then what about our math games?
So basically with math games, so what we're learning, so basically, let's just say what you're learning in class,
Mhm.
those math games, you have little bits and pieces of what you're already working on and like what's new. So
Correct.
just turn that into a game.
Yeah. And what about calendar? What is that one? What's that called? Number? Is that our number corner?
Yeah, number 12.
And what do we do there?
So in my class,
Okay.
just, like we've been doing like measuring grams, weight, stuff like that.
Oh, can you share about, I saw a shriveled up carrot. What is that all about? Like, I walked in and I was like, ew, is that for Halloween or what? So go ahead, Tori, and talk about the carrot.
So basically about the carrot, we're doing a project to
Mhm.
see how much rotting can change a healthy carrot. By
Shoot, measuring the weight of it? Okay, so it was a pretty carrot. It was nice and healthy and fresh, and now it doesn't look like that, right? Okay, how long are you guys keeping the carrots? A month?
Do the month of October.
Okay, October it's done, we're in November, we need to get rid of the carrot. Okay. All right, well, I appreciate you guys coming in and helping, the school board understand that we know our scores aren't that good, but we got a lot of things in place to help us do better this year, right? Teamwork is dreamwork. Thanks. Bye.
I'm Archie Blakely here with Fiscus, and today we're going to be talking about STEP, so Science and Social Studies scores.
Yeah, so these scores are a little different, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you talk about it?
Yeah. So this year, well,
Last
typically
year.
this past school year,
Uh-huh.
we got 28% in science and 6% in social studies. And we actually improved from last year, because last year in science and social studies, in science we had 26%, and in social studies we had 5%.
Yeah, Vernon promised the school board that we would do a better job in science. He was not happy with that score, and we took it up a notch, so thanks, Vernon, for that. And then in social studies, what's going on?
So, in social studies, I think the reason why, we don't have as big of a score is because it needs to be more engaging to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because how we have workplace games and math, we need to have that too. Because if we have good math scores, that means that it seems more engaging. And
Right.
if we have lower science, social studies scores, that means it's less engaging. The more engaging, I think, the higher the score will be.
Yeah, can you tell me, I know you were talking before about Ms. Nunn. Can you tell me what she did to make it engaging?
So last year in Miss Nunn's class, we had played this dollar game, and it technically talked about the point in life cycle and how it goes to Federal Reserve, and how it goes to a bank or to a store or to a restaurant. And when we did that, it was so much fun for the entire class. Everybody liked it. Even the parent pro that was in our class liked it too.
That's great.
That's how fun it was.
That's awesome. And then this year, good news, we have a new social studies curriculum. So we're hoping that that's going to keep us engaged a little bit more, and that we're going to raise our scores, because we need to get to, the county or the state, and we want to be right, because 6% is just not acceptable, not here at Fisher.
So we're gonna keep working on it, right? All right. Well, can we just say, have a nice evening?
Have a nice evening.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm here with Miss Coos, I'm Kayla, and this is Mason. Let's start going over our M-STEP test scores.
Okay, so can you guys tell me a little bit about the scores for this year? How'd we do on last year's M-STEP?
Although we did drop down in percentages in every single grade level, from grade 3 through grade 5, we did beat the district in grade 4 and grade 5, although 3rd grade did not beat the grade district.
Okay. All right, so, how do you guys feel about that?
I feel that we could have did a lot better on the scores if we really locked in and focused on what we were doing in class.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Mason, how about you? What do you think?
I feel like maybe if we probably could have done better on the test. Maybe we probably could have done better on the test.
Right, because you wouldn't want those kind of test scores on just a regular test, right?
No.
Yeah, for sure.
We definitely could have improved our test scores.
Okay, so, what do we do here at Fisher to improve our scores, or as we work through for next year?
So what we do at Fisher to improve our scores is we have WIN 4 days out of the week. Some days are ELA and some days are math. That puts us exactly what level we should be in and how we should be treated about how we learn.
Okay, that's great. And then, what does WIN stand for?
What I need.
Okay. And Mace, you were talking about something with me earlier about what your dad shared with you. Can you talk about that?
Yes, so a couple days ago, me and my dad, we were talking about how the kids during COVID, kindergarten, first grade, they weren't able to communicate because of COVID and the quarantine. And so that may have been, and since they couldn't communicate with each other properly face to face, they might have had trouble paying attention and communicating to others when COVID was, it kind of died down. And so maybe that might have been the percentage drop by all the grades. That might have been the reason why all the grades had their percentages dropped.
But I want to show you guys something right in front of, behind us are your scores, but this is the 3rd graders, and what is their percentage?
19%,
But they took the test in 4th grade, and what is their percent?
46%.
Pretty darn good increase, isn't it?
Yup.
Yep. And so here, this is our 4th grade taking the test. What is their score?
41%.
And then they went up?
By 1%.
Exactly. So we're working on it, right? Because that is a cohort, that's what they're called. So when you guys were when you were in 3rd grade, Kayla, that was your percentage, or your group, right? And then when you went to 4th grade, you guys increased that much. So you remember all the hard work you did in 3rd grade? Yeah. So what other things did you guys do?
We had SFA every day to make sure that we got to know main ideas and how we could fill out graphic organizers. And we still had WIN in 3rd grade too to practice our reading on where we needed to be and just get better at stuff.
Very good. All right. You guys got anything else to say to our school board?
Thank you, school board, for letting us be here, and we now have proudly presented the Fisher M-STEP ELA grade scores for 3rd through 5th grade. We hope you have a great day. Goodbye, and have a nice week.
Hello, everybody. We're back, and I'm back here with Mary Beth Ankofsky, our interventionist. Now, you just heard about the kids and their side of what happened with our M-STEP, what are we doing, and of course, they struggle a little bit with the details. So Mary Beth's here to do the here's what, so what, now what.
So we talked about how our NWEA scores coming in from the summer did not show as much summer loss as we have typically seen in the past. So that was a good start.
Yeah.
And then last year we adopted
Yep.
And it is explicit and systematic, and it's teacher friendly. It also allows the paras to develop a relationship with their students.
And I think that's, through Maslow's hierarchy, like if the kids don't have that relationship and don't feel comfortable with who they're working with, then they're going to be more resistant to the learning. And so we're very lucky that we have a lot of parents that have come back from, that have been with us for years, and then even the new ones, they're younger, so the kids are more apt to want to, be with them and stuff like that. So it's been a great transition this year.
It sure has. And then we also, last year, adopted the Acadians assessment platform. We basically just tried it out last year, but this year we're using it much more systematic. We started and we benchmarked all our students for reading, and then we are progress monitoring our most struggling students to make sure that we know how they are coming along in their reading. And we actually just did our September to October progress monitoring, and 97% of those students that we progress monitored either maintained or improved.
Oh. Yay! I'm so excited. So, implementing all of these things into the system is really helping us grow and kind of diving back into, really knowing who our children are. The COVID, days are over, and I feel like this year the kids are just wanting to learn again. They're voicing that, and the teachers love Acadians because they believe that it's an easier way to talk to parents about, whether there's a deficit or a strength with Acadians. So that's really nice too.
Yes, and then one other thing we talked about is how, basically what I need system is basically what we used to do as workshops. And a lot of times kids got trapped in that same group for the whole semester.
Yeah.
But now with our monthly progress monitoring, we're able to make little quick changes to really meet the needs of those students in a systematic way.
So they're seeing themselves get out of one group, go to the next one, and move forward. So that's been really exciting as well. I love it. It is a lot. We make it sound so easy, but the stuff Mary Beth is amazing, and that whole team. So I appreciate you, and that concludes. Here's what. So what? And now what?
Yeah.
I always get those mixed up, but thank you
No
so much.
problem. No problem.
All right, and I appreciate all of you for listening to our presentation here at Fisher.
And then just one more thing, Danielle is passing out. The math scores have really bothered me, and I kept reaching out to our math coach asking, what can we do? What can we do? Like, how do we raise these scores? She actually went to a conference and came back very excited, the Michigan Association Intermediate School Administrators, on a cognitively guided instructional cohort in mathematics. So we're going to pilot this year. It's never too late, that's how I feel. We're going to start this. It is a research-based framework for teaching math that focuses on how children think and solve problems. We're taking our 4th grade teachers for this year, and then if we see the change and we see the difference, we're going to, then teach all the rest of our teachers and move forward with that. So it's never too late, and I definitely don't want to give up on the kiddos and the scores that we need to rise. So, well, thank you for being patient with my kiddos. I appreciate being able to present. So, any questions? And we are moving in, good news, we are moving into the new wing on November 25th. So we'll have it open, and I'm sure we'll do something fancy as an open house, and you'll be all invited to come over and see the new wing. So pretty excited. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Kinsey?
Yes. So, one of our guests of honors, thank you, Fisher, for for that excellent presentation. One of our guests of honors who we just announced just not too long ago, Miss Alicia Grant, is here. This is our new social worker over at Adams. All right, our social worker who visits and hands out books in Jamaica. That's her. That's her.
Volunteers, we're all ready, roll in.
So welcome. Welcome, Alicia.
Thank you, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is report from board annual performance evaluation. Ms. Early.
So when AJ and Deanna had talked about different evaluation tools, but I think we have decided to just wait until New Year so we can look at all of them and have presentations from different rooms that we haven't seen yet.
Any questions? I have questions, yes. Does anybody have any questions before I? Yes. So, what are you gonna look at? I mean, have you started looking for it? Okay.
It's not very big, but no, we can move that in here of January.
All right. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is comments from the audience. None, all righty. Next item on the agenda is Plus Delta, Plan for Improvement. Mrs. Davis.
Madam President, what processes help the board's work this evening? Pluses.
To the chair.
Yes.
I like the presentation being a video from the students. I agree with Ms. Coos about, it's nice that we have the numbers here, but I like seeing like a glimpse into your guys' day. It makes me happy, so thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll piggyback off Amanda because I like the thought processes of those children and what they as far as further in their education as well. So that was really good.
Thank you, Mrs. Coops. That was a fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Also, the students giving their take on what they think they should do and what they will do to better themselves. I like that. Thank you so much. Okay.
Madam President, any opportunities for improvement? What processes will help the board's work in the future?
Well, it doesn't look like
There's none.
there are none. Okay, if there's nothing further that comes before this board, I adjourn this meeting at 7:03.